You guys, I haven't been this excited about a project in so long. Welcome to the channel. It's Angela, the Traveling Crafter, and we are going to try something new today. I'll tell you the story, but first of all, let me tell you what you're going to need. It's super easy, super fun, and you don't need very many tools. You're going to need some scrap fabric, and I've got mine right here. I also have some old leftover packaging, so I've got that. I've got some glue. I have some scissors, and I have a bunch of little sentiments, words, and such. And that's about all you're going to need. Now, let me tell you the story about how this came about. I'm just calling these fabric index tabs. Maybe I'll come up with something brilliant before this airs, but probably not. So yesterday I did a live. Now by the time you see this, it will have been well past yesterday. But I did a live, and it was 100 ideas to spark your creativity. And I went over a lot of the things that I had been working on, whether they were video related or things I'd worked on in the background. And I like to do that every so often. So I have kind of a video log of things that I've worked on so I can refer back to it and reference it easily. So while we were doing our little live, I was showing these tabs. Now, where are the ones that I just did? Oh, right here. I was showing these tabs that I made while I was at my Grandma Mo's, and I just used scrap, and I folded them in half and I sewed them, and then these little tabs can go onto your page. So that's what they're like. How come that's glued together? Because let's see. Well, that one's probably gonna have to, there we go. And then I did this one. So I'm going to show you 7 different iterations from what my original aha moment was on the live yesterday. We are going to start, and I'll just basically tell you, I'm not going to really show you, but for these, all I did was take a piece of, it was a square. So let's just find a square right here. I folded it in half. I mean, how much easier can you get, right? And then I sewed it. Boom. Well, as I was showing these, I'm like, we could make something where it has just like an index tab where you can slide a word in there. So that is where we went from there, and we tried it, and it turned out so fun. So we're going to start with this, and here's what I mean by that. Here's the word dazzle, and so I can just slide this little word in there, or any word, when I get to that point, and now I have my tab, which will then go onto the page. And this one might be a little stuck together. There we go. And so then you can just put it right over your page as however you wish. And then as I was playing around with it after the live, I came up with a couple of other options. So here's some that I did that are already ready to roll. They've got the little piece of plastic in there. So those are all done. And we're just going to make one of those. So here are a couple that are ready to roll. And I'm just going to show you how I cut these out. So I simply folded this in half, and I just finger pressed it, so I kind of knew. And you don't have to have these even, like, so they can be shorter on one side if depending on, what kind of paper, what kind of sized fabric you have. And then all I did, see, can you see this? Okay, yeah. All I did is I just took my scissors and I just cut a little piece out to make a hole. And then I just went from corner to corner. This one I'm going to round. To make the opening. So now I know I want it to be about that wide. And I'm going to do the same over here. Just make my little triangle. And then I'm going to, and I did not worry about how even these were. I think I kind of like the idea of them being a little messy. But if you want them perfect, measure it up. Draw an outline. Use a template to, lay down on there. Okay, after I cut these out, then what I did is I grabbed a piece of, let's just use this one because it's wider. Let's see. This one's not cut. I'm just going to cut this open so we have, this one actually is not has not been used. It is now. But you can use anything. You could use overhead projector sheets. You could use like a page cover, or what do you call that? Page protector, anything you want. We'll do it on this. No, we'll do it on this side. What I did at this point is I only glued just a little bit around here. Just a smidgy, because I want to be able to tuck this down. This is what my realization was after I played around with them a little bit, is I want to be able to have the option to how deep I want it onto my piece of paper. Does that make sense? So I don't want it to be too, I don't want everything to be glued down on there. Because, the first ones I did, I sewed them all, and so that is how much space I have between the sewing and that to fit it on a page. So, just keep that in mind when you're doing it. I also found it easier if I just put a little bit of, we're not going to put the glue down here because that one's kind of close to the, so we're just going to put some here and some right here. That laying these onto, laying the acetate or whatever your clear piece is, was easier to do it this way than the way I did it before, where I cut it out and then put it on there. Okay. Now, can we fit this one on here? I think, can we? Here's what I'm going to do. Just so you can see that there's other ways to do this. And now I'm going to cut just inside of where the fabric is. So that it's not showing. I know this is probably pretty hard for you guys to see, and I apologize for that. I gotta have it close to my face so I can see it. There we go. Now, those are basically done. And then this one, so they're like that. And then this one, we will just cut out this last little, where's that little chunkarooski? This little piece. And we'll do this one a little different so you can see that there's other iterations. And then we'll just lay that on there. So we'll just put some right here. And I'm just going really gently around, daintily around the circle itself and lay it down. All right. Now, after you've done that, you can go to your sewing machine. You can sew it together, right here around the circle. If you put your word in ahead of time, you can just leave them like this and they're ready for when you want to use them, whatever you wish to do. Let's see. Do I have a word? I wonder if this will fit in there. Let me see. Might be a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit small. Okay, well, that one won't work. Do I have one? Of course, the one I did, I don't have a word that's going to fit in there. That's okay. We can use another one. That's kind of cute, isn't it? But that's not what I wanted to use this coupon for. So you could put that in there, and then you could just sew it on. You don't have to sew it. You can just glue it, and it's ready to roll. And you can just glue it here and on, you know, like halfway up. And that way you have all of this to play with, you know, or just glue the word on this side, so then you can just flap it over. Lots of options on that one type of tab. So again, it's a great way to give a scrap and use up your scraps. If you don't follow that hashtag, it's a fun hashtag. So we'll just put these all aside. These are all ready to go. I can play with them, and I'll put them in with my tabs, and we will be good to go. All right. Second way that you can use this is, no, not the second way. This is actually the third way, is you can use something larger. So for example, I have these little dictionary words. So we can make this bigger. You can see this one does not have the cellophane or the acetate in it. And we're just going to put this together as such. So let's find, do we have one where this will work? Let me find one. Do I have one? Is this big enough? No. That one's kind of okay. How about this one? You know what I'm gonna do with this one? I'm gonna show you the third way, and then we'll do this is the fourth way. All right, let me just show you. Let's just say you don't want to take the time to cut out that window, but you want to be able to use your tabs. Then just glue something on there, like I had this ticket. I decided to add this one, and I'll tell you why, because I made a mistake. Well, no, my sewing machine made a mistake, and it glitched. So when I was sewing this, I had all this extra thread on this side. So I just took this little identification thing to cover up the back, and I was like, oh, there's one more way that we can make that. So you can do it on this, you can do it on both sides. I think I'm going to leave that as it is because that's stinking cute. And I'll just leave this open until I'm ready. And maybe when I do put it on a page, then I'll sew it on. Okay? So there's your third way that you can do it. Now let's do this one, the fourth way. All right. So this is going to be a tight squeeze. We'll try to make it happen. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm cutting off as much excess as I can while still making sure it's going to fit in here. There we go. And maybe I'll do this. So thank you to all of you that came to the live yesterday. Thank you for that inspiration too. You know, sometimes just going through things and talking about projects you've been working on are a fantastic way to spark creativity and find something new. And I did not plan this. It was, I'm going to mark this one just so I know about how far I need this to come out. And I want to do that same thing on the bottom. So I couldn't have planned it better if I would have planned it myself. Fantastic. And I haven't done this in the other samples that I did. I just kind of eyeballed it, but for the sake of this, so you guys can see a little bit better, again, I'm just going to cut a little hole in there so my scissors fit in, and I'm going to cut to that corner. I'm going to cut to that corner. I'm going to cut to this corner, and finally, I will cut to this corner. So this makes it so much easier when you're cutting all of these out. Just now you have it like this, and then you can just eyeball it, or if you traced around it, then just cut your little piece out. I don't know how well this is going to fit in there, but we're just going to roll with it. Roll with the homies. Or with the crafties. Ooh, this is going to be, yikes. Okay. This is going to be persnickety. There you go. So we've cut all of that out. This seems like it's going to be too big. It is. I can feel it. No, maybe not. All right, when we're not using the, or do we want to? Should we use this? It does look pretty cool. All right, I'm just going to cut one of these out. Let's see. That's good enough. Why not? Just to make it a little more fun. And this one I'm not going to worry about the tab right now because you could put it all on one side and then sew it on when you're ready. Does that make sense? Instead of having it go over the paper, you just put the entire thing on one side. Okay, let's make sure this is gonna, this is kind of curling right there. It's gonna come like that. And then we want this to go on it. I'm gonna now glue around here. Aren't these easy? Like, don't you just want to go grab your scraps right this minute and just start playing? I think so. And I got maybe a little bit off on my gluing, so I'm just going to kind of improvise. There we go. Hopefully this will be okay. Yeah, it worked. There you go. Now it's ready to roll when I'm ready to use it, or I can sew around it and then I can put it over the page like this, or I can put the entire thing just like this onto my page like that and then glue it, or or sew it. Options. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4 ways down. Number 5, why is this number 5? Oh, I think just because I did this so that, I glued it all in there. I just made that one a little bit bigger. And see, it's not perfect, but I thought this would be cute just to sew messily around it, and it would be adorable like that. So that was number 5. Number 6 is even easier. So this one was 1 piece, and I cut it in half. So this one, I just took some little words that I had used, and I left it open here. So if I maybe wanted to put a ribbon through it or something like that, I can put it onto the page like this on a side tab. I can sew it. I can use this and put a pen in here if I wanted. But that is number 6. You're simply not going to do any windows. You're just going to swap or slap that on there. But I feel like a little bit of lace might be nice to put on this classy and fabulous piece. So let's just do that. And that will be number 7. Easy peasy. And I'm sure that there's many more ways. And I would love to hear in the comments if you have thought of those while we were making these, more ways to make these little adorable fabric tabs. Okay, let's just put that down. We're just going to do one little spot of glue. Now, you probably noticed that I'm not using a lot of glue because I'm probably going to be at some point sewing these in some fashion. So I kind of like that little flower showing through that fabric. And that's a cool way to just use, solid fabrics in a different way. And pop that on there. And now we have another tab. You could be making these like all day long. Take them on the road. Take all your scraps and just make these like you're going crazy. That's what I did with these. And then I ran them through my sewing machine. And then, you know, if you don't have like all of your sentiments or whatever, or if you don't want to do them until you're ready to use them, wait. It's that easy. Let's do one more. I like this one a lot. And we'll do another one the easy way. Do I have another? I think this one. Let's just slap a couple things on here. Okay, so we'll do this one this way. And see, these are all different sizes, so these aren't square at all. I just used whatever scraps that I had. You know, like this is a square, this is not. That's sort of ish. But I just used what I had lying around. Okay, let's see. That Good Vibes. These I printed. I have a digital. I don't know if I have it on my Ko-fi. I had it on Etsy at one time. And I printed these on fabric. So this is one of my digitals. So we'll put that one there. Do we have something cute that would go? That's kind of a lot. But let's just make this a little more vintage looking. And I'm just pulling out those strings, and we'll just take a couple of them out of that one. Okay, there we go. And now we're just going to plop this bad boy down here. And it's done. So 7 different ways that you guys can play with your scraps and make little tabs for, you know what would be really cute, I think, is if you took the time to do all of these and make sure that they were all like the same size. Like you can make them really tiny and they would be so cute on your Bible. I think that would be adorable. Okay, let's see if we have some. Do I have a little bit of green? I have some green lace, but it might not be the right color. Let me just see if it works. I'm going to take a piece of this out. Maybe. I think it'll work underneath there, just to give it another little layer. Oh my gosh, I got string all over myself. And let's just, this is kind of at an angle, so let's just angle this one a smidgy. And then plop these on there. I am so excited about these. Like, I mean, like I said when I started the video, I have not been this excited about doing a project in a long time. And I needed this because I haven't been in a funk, but I feel like I've got so much going on that I'm just getting by, you know? Do you ever feel like that? There we go. That one's done. So fun. And then let's see. This one says vintage. Should we just stick that on there? Tiny little one. Let's do that there. Do I have something else that, a little tiny piece of, let's see if I am my little scrappy bin. Oh, that's too thick, but it would be the right color. I thought maybe I had a little, oh here. You know what we can do though? Hold on. Let's just bling it up a little bit. We got some pearls. We'll put one of those on there. Or maybe more. So I could do it this way. You know, or if you were going to put it on a tab where you wanted to, you could have it go out that way. Let's do it that way, just to be different. Vintage. And then, should we use a little pearl right here? Or we could put them down here. That looks cute, doesn't it? You know what we can do? Let's get one more out. Let's do this. Just to add a little bit of dimension. So we'll get one more of those little flat back pearls. We're going to put this one right here. Then we're going to flippity-dippity put over on that side, and then we'll put these right there. Oh, goodness. My glue just ran. Did you see that? There we go. So now on that side, you'll have those 3 little things. On that one, you'll just have that, dang it, that one, one little pearl that wants to run away from me. There we go. Sweet. So that's all you need, friends. It's grabbing your scraps, give a scrap, use those bad boys up. We will do another April collaboration with the hashtag give a scrap, but there's a ton of videos out there right now on I have a playlist for it, and you can just also search the hashtag and make a bunch of these up, and they're super, super fun to play with. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you again for all of the inspo from those of you who joined the live yesterday. It was absolutely fun, and I am excited to be able to share an idea that was kind of a culmination of our friends hanging out together and coming up with something new. So until next time, friends, remember to take time to just be. We'll see you soon. Cheers.